I'm in my shop today painting some boxes and foundations, etc., and trying to get ready in case I need to either expand a hive or start a new colony. So in particular, in addition to doing some painting, I'm trying to get this shallow super box ready to add on to one of my hives. So this didn't have any frames in it, so what I've been doing, I was able to buy the frames put together, but it did not have the wax foundation in it yet. So what I'm doing is I am installing the wax foundation in these frames. So basically what I'm going to do, I don't know if you can see in these, you've got a slit that runs in this. The frame would sit like this, and the wax foundation is going to sit down in that slot, the bottom part of it. Okay, these are the wax foundations. As you look at them, these have little pieces of metal that run through this wax. This is wax just like the bees do in the hive, or put in the hive, and it already has the little cells. And so what they'll do is they'll add to these cells, and they'll put baby bees in there, and they'll put pollen in those cells, they'll put honey in some of those cells. This gives them a head start, and it allows your bees to expand the hive much more quickly. So for these, this metal rod runs all the way up through the wax foundation and then turns up a little on the other end, and we're going to show you how that wire sticking out helps you to install the frame. This is the frame as it would sit in the hive. Now, at the top part of this frame, and just doing this one-handed, you can see there's a little bit of a slit here. So what you have to do is pop that piece of wood that is there. So what I usually do is I just run a knife down through that little slit to make it pop off. Alright, so that little piece just popped out. Now, what I'll do is, got my wax here, or wax foundation. So what I will do is I will take that wax foundation, and it will just slide in that little slit in the bottom of that frame. So let me do that, and then we'll move forward. Okay, so the wax foundation, the bottom part of it has been put in the slit at the bottom of this frame. Now what I do is I just gently push in the top part. You'll notice as I push it in, you'll see the metal strips at the top. It's designed so that it's a snug fit. So I just make sure that it's as smooth as possible. I use my thumbnail just to flatten out the wax frame up against the wood on the far side. The goal is that it lay flat. So I've got it all in there. Now what I'll do is I'll turn it over like this, and I will take that piece of wood that I popped off earlier, and it just snaps down like that. And I don't know if you could see, the metal pieces are underneath it. So what I'll do is I'll put that in place, and you can use a staple gun, or I just often use these small nails, and I will just drive the nails through that. I usually put one there, one there, one there, and one there, and that piece of wood holds the top part in place, and the bottom of it, of the wax frame, because remember this is upside down, I'll turn it over when I'm done, sets in a little slit that's at the bottom of this frame. So let me put that in place. All right, as we look at this, you can see I put in 4 nails across there. And so the frame foundation sits in the frame, sits in the groove at the bottom. It's held in place at the top by wires that are underneath that piece of wood. And so now I can take the frame and slide it in the box. These are 10 frame boxes, so I have 2 more frames to go. Okay, that's our last frame. Now there are other folks, they use staple guns and so forth on theirs. I don't do enough to need something that's real fast. It's something that I can kind of piddle at and do in an afternoon every once in a while. So anyway, we've just put foundations in 10 frames, and we're going to take this box and go put it in a split hive. All right, I want to, for those who haven't really seen them, show them what bee frames look like. This is a homemade wooden bee frame, at least the top and sides. It's missing the bottom. This is what wax foundation looks like. You can see what the wax foundation looks like. Has these little metal pieces right here. That's what helps hold it inside the frame. So here I put several frames together, but I keep one to use as a pattern. So this is a top frame, top part of the frame. Now when you buy it in a packet, this little piece is going to be in here. And what you do is it's usually just lightly sawed right there in that crack. So you peel that off like that. And so here are the sides. That's the pattern that I use for a medium frame. And it just pops in place right in there. Okay, so it just pops right in there. And so that's a medium frame right there. Now, this is the pattern I use for a deep frame. It's going the right direction. It just slides in like that. So you can get a sense of the height difference. On the far right, you have the side piece for a deep frame. On the far left over here, you have the side piece for a medium frame. Now, this is the bottom, at least of the ones I used, and it has a slit in the bottom. And so what I do is I'll put some glue in that crack right there. So I'll put some glue right there, and then I'll put this in place like that, and then I'll either put nails through here or a screw through there, right there, and that'll hold it in place. And of course, again, the other side of that is a medium frame, so you can see the difference between the two, the length difference. Now, when you're putting in your wax foundation, this wax foundation is actually wax foundation for a shallow. I have 3 different size frames in my hives. And so it just lays in just like that. And then what I do is take this piece and I pop it in there and it holds it in place, and then I just put nails, or you can put staples to hold that in place, and those little wires go up under this wood piece and holds it in place. Now you can use, so let me just give you a frame of reference. Over here on the right we have a side piece for a deep box. Over here on the left we have a side piece for a medium box, and then this frame is for a shallow box, and you can hopefully see there's a little bit of a gap difference between those two. So that's the basics of how frame works.